Why hello and welcome back to another episode of Voice of the Rings. I am your host and guide, Zollin Ironshield, and today I'm going to show you an efficient and fastest way to kind of set up your legendary items here. Well, as fast as we can possibly do, because it's a little bit more of a complicated subject. So first things first is you need to get yourself to Rivendell, alright? Once you get yourself to Rivendell, you're going to walk over to the last homely house, and you need to get to the archives of Rivendell. It's where you do the legendary item in this game, okay? So we're going to go through in detail. I'm going to do a little fast movement here and get over to the archives, or the front door, just to show you where it is. Here we go. Little teleport. BARUK. KHAZAD. All right, there's a little teleport there. We're back over here. So here's the last homely house. When you get to the last homely house, you're basically just going to go in the door. All right, and then you're going to go up the stairs on the left and go to the second level, and there's a door behind the third level stairs. And I'll show you right now, just so those new players don't get confused. Again, we're going to go through all the steps of getting your legendary items. So first things first, in the past, if you haven't already done it, if you have old legendaries, I'm not sure you can still do it, but it was a thing where your old legendary tab, you could actually go through your legendaries and say value or whatever. There's a button they use, and you get ancient scripts to use, okay? Ancient scripts are kind of the currency for legendary weapons now, all right? This is really important for everybody to know. If you want to go into your wallet, you can see how many ancient scripts you have right down here. Here is the door, by the way. Second level, I went up. Don't go up these stairs. Just go up just the second level, and you go in this door right here, all right? So you go in here, and now you've got your area, right? I'm a captain. Doesn't matter what class you are. Your first goal will be to walk up to this nice lady right here, and you're going to go to barter items, all right? And you're going to find your legendaries, all right? So for me, I'm a captain, so I'll probably use a halberd. But again, remember, I also have a secondary thing. I have an emblem as a captain. You'll have an accessory too. I already have mine. I'll explain in a minute why. But let's say we were trying to find it. You look up your class here. You can look up you see the profiles, captains. There we go. So these are all captain's weapons. As a guardian, not a guardian. As a guardian of Middle Earth. I'm just kidding. As a captain, I have a dwarf. Now that you can be dwarf captains, they get a little bonus to axe damage slightly. So using an axe is a good thing. But so I'm using a two-handed axe technically right now as this captain, but you can also use a halberd or whatever you want to use. It doesn't really matter too much when it comes to legendaries now. You can kind of just choose what you'd like. Mainly it comes down to your racial bonus, and dwarves get a plus 5% from axes. So you may want to think about that with your other race if you're not a dwarf. But you don't technically have to use that weapon still. But you'll need to select your accessory. For me, it would be an emblem and then some kind of weapon, right? All right, once you have those, all right, in your possession, you're going to equip them, all right? So again, I already have two. I actually used a Valor boost for this character, but I'm going to walk you through this like you're brand new and you didn't buy a Valor boost and got the items, right, with the Valor boost. So once you have your two weapons, you'll go ahead and just right-click to apply your axe or whatever and your secondary accessory. And it's an emblem for me, because I'm a captain again. So then you're going to need to collect your tracers, your words of power, your words of... Let's explain. All right, let's start with hovering. All right, hold on one second. Sorry, I want the tooltip in the middle for you guys. There we go. There's our weapon, right? When we hover it with our mouse inside our character thing, okay? It comes with, you can see all the slots there. So your weapon will always have a herald at the top, and then it will have some words of power, words of, hey, let me just show you them. Let me just show you. It would be easier just to show you instead of just talking it out. All right, so as a captain, I need to find the captain one. They are both below and above, so make sure you're looking at the right one. You can hover them, and they will say champion. All right, captain. So that top one up there with the sword and this thing, okay, for me. So you right-click it, and then you're going to have all of this come up, okay? This is where you're going to get all your different things. And for me, I'm max level. As you're leveling, if you're new, and let's say you're level 50, you're going to have to start with the level 50 things, okay? But I'm max level right now. So I'm going to go up to the top ones, the highest ones here. And then there's leader of men. What are these different words after it so you don't get confused? Well, the way you'll figure that out is go into your trait tree and just look at the titles at the top. See? Leader of hands of healing, leader of men, lead the charge. Okay, so those are my things as a captain. Whatever class you are, just look and then match those to the filter, right? What you want. So again, this is where you'll be getting your words of mastery, okay, on this particular one. This will be directly connected to your skills, all right? I really don't want you to get confused. So let's think about this again. So let's go back into our legendary item. So the first one is Herald. So let's just start with the very first one up there at top. I just know it's a Herald. I know you don't know that yet, but you're going to go over here, and I believe this is the Heralds, this one with the dragon, all right? So you click this. This is for every class. Again, I want the highest level 1, so you can do legendary levels, right? I don't have one of these tracers right now, so you may have to, if you're a new player, find a little bit, maybe at the lower level one here, right? There, I can get that one, right? So then for me, this is the next part that's really important for you guys, is you need to think, all right, what stats do I need? Okay, so you go to your character. If you don't know this, most people will know this if you've played a long time, but if you don't know this, go to your character and hover your stats. Whatever stat says is very important to you. So for example, as a captain, might is very important to you. There's only going to be 2 that say that out of the 5 stats. Vitality is the other one for me as a captain. If you're let's say a rune keeper, it's going to be vitality and will, okay? And again, you can find that very easily. So now that you know that, you go to your herald and you're going, okay, well, I need might and vitality. So I look through all the heralds, I have them. Well, that one's might and vitality and outgoing healing. So again, here's what you have to think about next too. Are you going to be like a healing captain, right? With healing stats? The Herald of the Bear would be good for you. It makes you heal more when you send healing out. But I want to do one that's maybe not that, right? Maybe I want to do Herald of the Ox, right? Might, vitality, physical mastery rating. My hits will do more damage. Now, as a captain, it makes me tend to want to do the healing one, the outgoing healing, because you're kind of more of a support character. And there's also another one here, Herald of the Lion, physical mastery rating, vitality, and might. So really, it depends on what you want. And if you notice the differences, the Herald of the Lion gives more might, less vitality. Herald of the Ox gives more vitality, a little bit less might. All right, as a captain, I'm going to go with Herald of the Ox for my weapon here. So I'm going to select that and barter for that. I'm not going to do it right now, though, because I actually already have one, because I have a Valor boost and they give it to me. But this is for you guys, all right? This is for people who didn't do a Valor boost, right? Regular leveling up. So there's how you got your Herald. You may have to get a Herald with only scripts. You may not be able to do that, have that special Gundabad. You could, this one, right? This scattered Gundabad. You may have to get one that's just a rune, a rare level, which is the purple, which is fine. Do that one. That'll still be good. And later you'll level up. That's how you level it up in the future, right? All right, so now we have our special thing. Now, for you guys, I'm going to go ahead and open up my my thing over here, because I have the, here's my Herald. So I'm going to go ahead and get my Ox Herald. This is because I got when you get the Valor boost, you get extra, you get all the stuff for your legendary items. So I'm going to go ahead now, and, like we got it out of the thing, I'm going to put it onto my axe. See, we have both our things. We have our accessory and our axe, right? Or our weapon. Accessory and weapon. I'm just going to call them accessory and weapon, because no matter what class you are, you're going to have an accessory thing of some kind and some kind of weapon for your legendary. So again, I'm going to apply that. Boom. All right, there we go. So my now has Herald of the Ox on it. All right. So I could also do that for my accessory, right? So I could go through and find that for my accessory here. I'm going to have to open up my other... I don't want to show you guys that one quite yet. One sec. All right. I'd open something up. There we go. I'm going to grab another Herald of the Ox, okay? For my accessory. Now, when it comes to heralds, you can have these same heralds on both legendary items. Something that's very, very important for you guys to know is that when it comes to the words, okay, which I will show you in a minute here. So, for example, these, all right, they're called words, word of power, and there's word of mastery. I believe it's the other one, which is your abilities. Though if I could, yeah, I'll show you in a moment. We'll get to that. Let's one step at a time. So what's really, really, really important, okay, again, with this, is that you don't double up on the words, Okay, so the words are all the ones besides the bottom two. So the bottom two are the tracers, the little, which I will show you where to get in a moment. So let's do step by step here for you guys. So I'm gonna go ahead and put my other one on my other accessory that I got. Right, so I got those both from that tracer place right there, right? The heralds. All right, so now for your next tracers, you want to get then probably your skills. Okay, so and in fact, you know what? We might, I think it'd be easier for us to do skills last. Okay, the skills last. So now let's do the next ones. Let's do these are the words of tracers. All right, word of craft. Okay, this is what I want to talk about, the word of craft. All right, so every legendary item will have 2 words of craft. Okay, so this is the next easiest one to do after the herald. It's the bottom ones on them. Doesn't matter what order. You don't have to go from top to bottom. That's up to you. So find your level, the highest level you can use, and the most rare you can use that you have these extra bartering things, obviously. So let's say, again, I'm going to go to max level. I don't have any of the Gundabad ones to get those, so I'll go down 1 level. Oh, look, I have those, right? Now, if you don't have any of those, you can go to the rare level, right? And there's 2 pages. You can see it says page 1 and 2 of this level, of that rare level, okay? So don't get confused with these searching things. Just make sure you realize this helps you kind of search through it quicker than going through every single page with this little tab thing at the bottom. I would highly recommend using this. But so go to the highest level you can, which would be going down, right? That you can actually buy. So, for example, now let's say I can actually go a little higher, but it doesn't really matter that much. Now, you hover all these, look through them. Again, these are stats, and they also give some special bonuses depending on which ones you have. So I highly recommend that you use 4 of the same one. Why? Because of that thing there at the bottom. You can see it says 2 different set items equipped. Again, I can't blow it up very much. I'm sorry, I'm on a 2K screen. I know it's a little bit tiny, so I'll just read it. It says, for example, this one, 2 different set items equipped, negative 3% attack duration. So it makes you attack a little faster is what that means. It's a bonus to you, not the enemy. 4, and then it says also it'll give finesse rating if you have 4 of them. All right. Now, again, for me as a captain, I'm going to probably look for critical rating is fine, incoming healing, tactical mastery is something I don't want as a captain. Finesse is good. Light type damage, I don't do that much. I still have some roars to do that, but it's not really huge for me. Again, you can kind of see there's lots of different levels of these. There's a lot of them. So let's see. Empowered Blade, physical mastery rating. That's probably what I want. Or critical rating is good. Parry, tactical. I think for me as a captain, I want empowered blades. All right, and that physical mastery rating. That's anything that's a blade. All right, pretty much. It can be an axe too. It doesn't have to be, But again, this one actually doesn't have any special bonuses on it. If you notice, it just gives flat physical mastery rating. So if you want to look at the ones that give you bonuses when you use them together, you're gonna need to find the ones that do that. All right. So again, I'm gonna go back to the other page one more time here, and I might actually use this one. Finesse rating, lots of finesse. Basically, finesse is something that allows the enemy to not have as high defenses against you, is pretty much what it is. Critical rating could be good too. Incoming healing, that's fine. Again, this is where you have to think about it, right? When you're starting, you have to think, what are the stats I need as my class, right? And again, if you're a tactical class, you're gonna probably want light, like this one, light type damage, outgoing healing. This could be very good because I do have a lot of abilities that do light damage as a captain. That's light damage. That's light damage. Captains do a lot of light damage with their roars. I might actually go with the light damage because I like the other abilities it gives as well. It also gives outgoing healing as a captain. That's helpful because you do heal your team, and critical rating. So I'm going to go with that one. All right, I'm going to go with the Ascendant Light. All right, but I'm not going to buy it here. This is where you would buy it. You'd buy a couple of these. I would recommend buying 4 of the same one if they have a set bonus like that at the bottom, where 2 increase your light damage for 15%, and 4 increase your outgoing healing by a certain amount. You can see those grayed out stats. In a moment, you'll see why. So now I'm going to go over to my tracers down here. All right, so see, I get them automatically because I bought the Valor boost, and I'm not trying to advertise it, but it is nice. So that's the one I just decided on, the Ascendant Light. So I'm going to go ahead and get that one there. So I have 1, and then I'm going to get another Ascended Light. All right, 2. So now I'm going to take these 2 and I'm going to apply them onto my weapon. All right, so I'm going to say apply. So I right-clicked it in my inventory, and then it says yes, apply. Right-click, select the right legendary you're trying to do it on, and apply, and watch if there's going to be effect on me. You see that effect that just happened? That was basically telling me that I got the bonus, all right, for having it. All right, let me show you. So if I go to this is my I hover these. Now you can see it's green. It's not gray anymore, right? It's green. I get plus 50% light damage too, and I get the 2300 crit on both of them added up. Okay, good. You're probably asking me, how did you get to this legendary item tab real quick? Let's explain that real fast because this is very important. This is something that's not explained well. Your legendary item, if you just hold shift and you double left click on it in your inventory or in your character slot, it brings this up. It's a legendary item. You can drag and drop tracers to slot or to basically replace essences and tracers, existing tracers, excuse me, not essences. Those are older, or those go on armor. Excuse me. So then basically another way you can do it is you can drag and drop it onto this little fire symbol on your, see this little fire symbol under your shoes? You can drag and drop it right there and it'll also bring it up, okay? They don't explain that with this little symbol, all right? That is not explained. The shift double click or the drag and drop, it's something I actually, the shift double click was a subscriber told me about that. I always use just drag and drop into this and you bring it up, and you can also grab the bottom here and make it smaller or bigger, all right, with your mouse. So that's how you can control stuff and do stuff. So now that we have that, well, I also want to put those exact same ones on my emblem, all right? So again, you'd buy them at the same spot, the same 4, but for me, I actually got them out of this, so I'm going to do the Ascended Light because I got the pack here. Again, I have a whole video basically describing how to do this from the perspective of the Valor boost, but we're doing this from the perspective of a brand new player who's not paying for anything. You're just playing the game, leveling up, free to play or whatever, and I'm explaining where you get it. So you get it from there, right? With your ancient scripts and whatever other earnings you have. So I'm going to put these 2 onto my emblem or accessory. You'll see the effect again. That means now I have the bonus of 4, right? So we go to one of them and look now, all the bonuses are activated on that little thing, see? So we're set there. All right, now we're halfway done, everyone. We're halfway done. So now what we're going to do is, where do you get your next things, right? So if we're hovering this, now we need to do the words, all right? So again, this is where you will now go to the top ones here, okay? These are called the Word of Power tracers, all right? These are the ones that affect very particular and awesome things on your legendaries and characters. This is where really you start upgrading as a hero in Middle-earth and what really helps, okay? These basically will give you all sorts of benefits like area of effect damage, increased range, right? For if you're a range user, how many targets you can hit with your abilities, all your abilities, right? If they're AoE at all those kind of things. So again, you'll look at your level, same thing like the other ones. Let's say for me, I'm max level, so I'm going to be looking up here. And I do have some of these, but I'm going to say you guys don't have any of those. Let's just go to the rare level, okay? There's 2 pages, page 1 and 2 of level 130. Word of Power, rare level. So let's start with the top one. So for me as a captain, this one is area effect critical chance, and how much crit magnitude means how much it can crit, right? This is kind of similar for every class with that particular thing. That's a good one. I don't really have that many area effects. There's a couple roars and stuff. So I would do... Now, here's another thing you have to really think about, guys, okay? Make sure that you realize that all the words are unique, all right? So this is something I have to go over real quick before we go any farther. See how when I hover that, it says at the top, unique use? You see that little green word at the top under its picture of area of effect target count? You see it? All right. Make sure you realize that it means unique use means you can only have 1 on your character at once, meaning you can't have 1 on your accessory and 1 on your legendary of the same name. So I can't have area of effect target count on both of my legendaries. It won't let me. It'll just remove 1, and it won't let me equip both legendaries at the same time. They're unique, meaning you can only have 1 on your character at any time on one of your legendaries. There can't be 2. Where if you notice, remember I told you at the beginning, the heralds doesn't matter. You can have the same herald with the same name, Herald of the Ox, on both legendaries. You can have the same tracers, right? Or excuse me, not tracers. These ones, Word of Power. I was saying that wrong a little bit. Word of Power tracers. They're all tracers. But Word of Powers, you can have as many as you want as long as you have enough things for them. So now when it comes to these next one, Word of Power, you can only have one at a time. So for example, our example here with our weapon and our accessory, we can have 3 of these on our accessory and 2 on our weapon. Okay, so that means you can have a total of 5, right? In this time. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and find our level here of rare, and then I will choose 5 of these. All right, so only pick 1 of each, right? So let's say damage over time, that could be good. Damage over time, all right, area of effect, that's one I would want, so I would select that one. Again, remember I already have them for my pack, but you would select it. I think area of effect is a really good one for you to have. And then let's go to the next page here. We're being serenaded by a wonderful elf. Okay, attack range. That's a really good one. I would put that on your accessory. The reason I'd put that on your accessory, if I were you, is the fact that no matter whether you're using a different weapon for a different thing or not, you're always going to want to increase attack range because it's always helpful no matter what you're doing, right? So that's one I would grab. I would put it on there. Single target criticals, how hard you crit on one target. That's a good one to have. Single target, again, this is going to be totally up to you how you want to do it. If you want to make one legendary item for healing and then another, I think what I would do is you'd either have one legendary item and then switch out your satchel or your accessory or your emblem or whatever it is with a different one for healing tree, or you really just need to have 3 legendaries. Just think how to do that, right? Think how to do that. But you just start with 2. Just start with 2. Set one up nice how you like it. Skill induction. Cool. There's a couple other things. Again, for a captain, that's not super huge. I don't super need that. But let's go ahead and grab our few here. So for me, I can go ahead and open them through this other thing in my stuff. So you'd go through here, you'd choose your 5 you want for your 2 things there, and you'd be set. Now again, maybe you want to choose 7, have 1 and 2 of other ones for another legendary, right, to have switch out. So now what I want to do is I want a range extension on my emblem. So there's that one. And then we don't need that one right now. And then I want area of effect. All right. I want that one on my, so these are going to go on my emblem because I want to always have these all the time. Even if I switch out to have a different legendary weapon, depending on what tree I'm using. Again, remember guys, the trees, you might have a DPS tree, a healing tree, and some kind of other tree, or an assistant tree, if it's that kind of class, right? So keep that in mind, right? These are all the things you have to think about. I know it's a little confusing, but hopefully this is helping you. And if it is, don't forget to like and subscribe, but let's continue to go on here. So again, there we go. I have 2. I can do 1 more on my thing there. So I'm going to do, for the other one, I think I will do I'm probably going to do an actual morale boost here. This gives me a morale multiplier. I think I'm going to go ahead and do that. All right, on my emblem here. All right, boom, there we go. My morale went up quite a bit there, didn't it? All right, and then for our last 2, now we need 2 for our weapon. Now this weapon is going to be designed more for combat, for damage. So I think single target, area effect attacks are good too for damage. We do have a lot of shouts and stuff. But I think I'm going to do the single target damage. All right. And I'm also going to put on, so I'm going to put that onto there. And again, I'm not having an issue because I'm using all different ones. So there's 3 on this one now, right? That are all the unique Word of Power. And I have 1 on this. I need 1 more on this one for the Word of Power. All right. So let's do our last one here. For the last one, I think we'll go with, kind of wanted the critical rating, I think, but I think what we're going to do is I'll probably do the area of effect damage. All right, there we go. So we're set. So both those are all set. So our Word of Powers are all finished and completed. So now on to our next step, the last one, which you'll find in your class. So that'll be somewhere out here. Okay, you want to look for your class here. All right. So I'm looking for captain. So my captain's up here. So now these are the captain tracers, or whatever your class is. And they are considered So, for example, now you'll do the same thing you did on the other ones, right? You go to whatever level you can get, and then you'll choose. Now, here's something that's kind of important. We need to talk about colors real quick. There are basically 4 colors in the legendary things, and this is kind of across all of Lord of the Rings Online. Yellow is kind of just above the generic, like gray bleh color. So yellow's fine. If you can get only yellow, just get only yellow. When you're brand new, you're level 50, you might only be able to use the yellow one down here at, at the level 50 tracers, right? You might only be able to afford that, right? That's fine. Just start with that. Make sure you have it. You can always upgrade later and stuff. Purple is the next quality of level. Then you have blue, and then you have this orangish color that's very similar to the yellow, but it's like an orange gold. That is like the best one you can get of your level. Now, again, I want to go to max level again. And there are 3 different ones you have to think about. Remember I talked about at the beginning? The 3 different trees, right? No matter what your trees are, you look for your name of your tree. So right now, I'm speccing more with my weapon into probably my red tree, right? Which is lead the charge. So I would look at lead the charge runes. And again, remember, if you hover these, they say unique use, which means you can only have 1 on your whole character, whatever legendary you have. So I'm going to pick a couple from my weapon. So we open our character back up with C and go to hover our weapon. I can have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. I can have 6 of them. None of them can be copied, right? You can only have 1 each. And then I can also have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on my other one. So 12 unique special ones. So you need to pick all of these uniquely 12. Again, there's not enough for just this one tree. So you could go into another tree. You could go into your Hands of Healing and maybe grab a few of those as well, right? Or Leader of Men. Grab a few of those as well. And again, you can go down damage, right? They've got one that's particularly just for damage, Captain, or just for buffs, right? Which is kind of cool that they organize it for you, right? They kind of organize it up so you can choose like, oh, the buff one. Okay, oh, outgoing healing, right? This one is buff damage. Oh, okay. You can kind of go through and see. Or damage. You just want to be a damage captain, right? Your blade does more damage, gives you might, that kind of stuff. All right? So now, not to get confusing, but you'd buy all your things, all of them, and then you would start slotting them. You'd start putting them on your weapons, right? Again, I would highly recommend you put the ones on your accessory that are things you'll always use. There are abilities you always use, even if you change trees, right? And then your weapon, you might have a secondary weapon, one's designed for a healing weapon, one's designed for a DPS weapon, right? For the 2 different trees, whatever you switch between your trees. Or you could flip that. You could do the accessory as the one you flip all the time and have one weapon that has all the things that are kind of generic across the board on that weapon. That's up to you. I'll leave that up to you. But hopefully you understand what I'm saying with that. If you don't, please leave a comment. I would love to, I'll clarify it a little more than that. But now I already have them over here set up, ready to go because I bought the little pack. So I don't need to buy them off that wall. You would have to buy them there on that wall. I'm going to go ahead and open up this one. And I'm going to start with the red box, which is, again, the lead the charge for me. Or for you, it might be different. And then I'm going to open up, well, of course, it would be different in your different class. But it's similar principle. All right, so we're going to open this up. Boop, there we go. Now we got all these. And now if you hover these, you got Shadow Lament, Time of Need buff duration. All right, so it lasts longer, gives me some vitality. All right, battle readiness, bleed pulses, devastating blow. All right, all these different things. You can go through them. So I'm going to put the devastating blow on my weapon because this weapon is going to be designed for my damage. I'm going to put this grievous wounds onto my... I'm going to do the battle shout onto my weapon. All right, I'm going to do, let's see which is one. Cutting damage, physical mastery. I'm going to put that on my weapon. Yes, and always press yes once you do it. Routing cry, I'm going to put that on my weapon and say yes. Shadow Lament damage, I believe that is this one, right? Yes, I'm going to put that on my weapon. And now we're getting pretty close to being done. So as you can see, I only need one more thing on the weapon there. All right, so I'm going to put on, let's put on Battle Readied buff. Oh, that's more of a buff. The bleed pulses, critical chance. I'm going to do the critical chance, all right, on the weapon there. Boop. All right, there we go. So the weapon is finished, okay? The weapon is set, not entirely. We have one more step, all right? So again, now I would also put stuff onto my other legendary, right? So if you're someone, then you'll go ahead and buy your other ones. Make sure they're not the same ones, guys. Like we've been talking about this whole time, these are all unique, okay? All the words are unique. And the tracers for the class abilities. And again, these are actually called Word of Mastery is what these are called. The ones on the wall that are particularly affect your skills as your class. It's called Word of Mastery, where Word of Power kind of affects everybody, just every class, okay? But they're all unique, those ones, versus the other things, right? We talked about the heralds aren't all, you can have the same herald on both weapons, and you can have the Word of Craft on both weapons, which actually you want to have the Word of Craft on both weapons because of the bonuses, right? The 4 bonuses. All right, so now we got a couple more important things to talk about here. We're getting really close. I'm not going to go ahead and put all my stuff on this emblem. I want to show you how to upgrade now your weapon thing here, and I will need to show you something very important, okay? So let's go ahead and take this weapon and drop it in our little essence thing slot here, where you can shift double click it and bring this back up. Now, we already talked about the colors, right? That was really important a minute. We talked about the colors. Another thing you need to know is you have these essence and enhancement runes. Excuse me, they're not essences. They're enhancement runes. I keep saying that. I keep saying the E and just thinking essence. Enhancement rune. There are different levels of enhancement runes, and this is how you upgrade. So for me, as you level up your thing, for one, you'll have to come here every so often and go to Legendary Reforge, and you can go to any legendary person in the world while you're leveling up your legendary and reforge it occasionally, okay? When you reforge it, it'll increase the cap on how much you can have here, okay, as you go. Again, I get a certain level of my heralds here, but I can go up to level 485 on the item level or the tracer level for this herald, okay? How do you level it up? You literally just, the enhancement runes, you pick them up with left click, you drag, you see how they're all glowing? They're all doing a little shiny effect, all the things. You could just drop them straight on the face of one of them for the herald, for example. Say yes, choose how many you can do. I'm gonna use 10 of my yellowish ones there, and boom. And look at that, it went up 10 levels. Why did it go up 10 levels only? Well, if you hover these different ones, they have different enhancement levels. This one will enhancement level up to 460. Oh, look at 460 out of 485 is my max I could do, right? The purple ones can go up to 480, and the blue ones can go up to 490. Now, again, remember, don't get confused. I got a little bit confused on this. I was thinking this was a gold color, so I was thinking it was past the blue one, but it's not. It's the yellowish color. Not really good on the color scheme there. So again, remember we talked about the different color schemes. Yellowish is kind of the lowest level. Purple is the next, blue, and then gold, the start gold. This is supposed to be the yellowish one. There isn't really a gold enhancement rune, okay? Just keep that in mind. So now, something that's really important. This is really important, okay? This next one, guys. Don't take your blue ones and drop them on, like, at 450 enhancement level, right? And say yes and use them. And use them to get them all the way up. Look, you could use 35. Well, I'll just use it. Don't do that. If you have the yellowish ones, use those first because there's a lot more of them usually. For example, I have 250 of these. I have 480 of these. I only have 100 blue ones, right? And the blue ones will always level up to that last level of 485 or higher. You guys see what I'm saying now? You actually will waste your high level enhancements on the low levels. You can do it if you don't have purple or yellow for some reason. You only have blue, you could do it, but I highly recommend not doing it. It's a waste of your stuff. So first thing first is you always drop the yellow one. Yes, use up as many as you can here. You can always move around the board by holding the top and left clicking if you want to move stuff around. Use 10. Boom, now we're at 460. So now I'm going to take the purples and drop on there. Yes, I'm going to use up to 20 of the purples. Now we're at 485, and now I'm going to use the blue to level it up the rest of the way, the last 5 to max level. So that one is maxly upgraded. I don't know if you could tell, but these numbers were changing right here. But again, if I show you now, these orange ones I already used on the herald, see how it's not shining anymore? Because it's already 460, I can't use them. I'm going to use the purple now. Purple, not the blue one, right? Because I want to go to the 480. So I'm going to drop, boom, bring 20 of them, use. All right, there we go. So now the purple won't work on that. See, it doesn't shine anymore. All right, so now I'm going to use the blue to use that last 5. And again, these stats are going up if you notice. The stat numbers, the green ones here. See how they just all went up? Now it's maxed. So we're set. So I'm max level, max stat on my Herald there, and one of my words. And just go through and do this on all of your tracers, on your legendary. You want to get them all up if you have this. Again, I have a bunch because I got a bunch automatically with the Word of Power. Where do you get these little runes of enhancement? That's a really good question. You go over to her, you go to barter items, you can go here and go down to enhancement runes right here, 106 plus. There they are, right there. You can trade for all of these with ancient scripts. These become, as you can see, the blue ones are very, very expensive for high level. They're 180 each, guys. So that's for the last 5 levels. That's 180 times 5, right? What we were just talking about with leveling these up. Again, the yellow ones, drag and drop, right? I'm gonna do it on this one, the area effect. Drag and drop, yes. Do 10, boom. So the yellow ones would have been 40 each. Not very much, right? To do those 10. Then the purple. All right, so I'm gonna drag and drop on here to do the purple, yes. 20 of them. So 20 of the purple ones. Well, that would have been 20 times 100. That would have been kind of a lot. But then the blue ones are 180 for those last 5, right? So that's why it's really important to do them in order, guys. And don't use your blue ones. Because again, remember, I could drop the purple or blue earlier on a different one and use them to level up those other levels, right? And then you waste kind of, you're paying more for no reason, right? So make sure you realize that difference, okay? So that's really important. So we've really covered legendaries. So at that point, once you've done upgrading these with these enhancement runes, your weapon is pretty much ready. And again, as you level up, if you're leveling up over time, you just come to any legendary person and you reforge. And then you may have to come at that point, buy some more of the enhancement runes, enhance your weapon up a little bit more, okay? So that's basically how the new legendary system works, all right? So that's about it, you guys. I think we covered it pretty thoroughly today. I hope that helped you out. I've done a lot of work and study on that in the last couple weeks, and a couple of my subscribers have helped me out, so I appreciate that. And because, again, it was a confusing subject. I did a video on this in the past, but now here's a nice updated one, and hopefully that was a little faster than the previous one in the past. But hopefully that helps you with the updated stuff and all that things. And don't forget to like and subscribe if that helped you out. Yeah, well, we did it. Good job, guys. And I hope you guys have a great and wonderful day in Middle-earth. Again, don't forget to like and subscribe if you did enjoy. Thank you to my Patreon. Thank you, Scumley, for being a royal guard. Have a fun time. Enjoy your legendaries. Once you get this down once or twice, it really doesn't become very hard. Pretty much it comes down to you get your legendary item, and then you walk around here and you get the different slots you need to fill, right? The Herald, the words, the power, all the different little slots and the ability ones. Get those in there, then get your enhancement runes. Drop those in by dragging and dropping this onto the essence thing. Drop your little enhancement runes in here. Make sure you do the right levels, yellow first, then purple runes, and then the blue ones for the enhancement runes, so you don't waste stuff. And then you're pretty much set. And then make sure you have both your legendaries done, and then at that point you can go a little more complicated, and you could think about your trees and say, okay, now I want a weapon or an accessory item that's designed for my healing tree, not just my damage tree, right? If you're someone that does that, or a tank tree and then a damage tree, right? Depending on your class and what you can do with your different trees. So anyway, my friends, have a great, wonderful day in Middle-earth. I also, little hint, you can also put your points in. I didn't do this, should have. You could put your points in early so you can see what abilities you have. So when you're going through these abilities, you'll know what is battle hardened outgoing healing buff. Well, that would be one of your healing abilities, okay? So that kind of thing. That's where those words will be. Those words are always directly correlated either with a stat, like outgoing healing rating. That's an actual stat on your character, all right? So you can look around here and you can show more stats, and you can look for outgoing healing. So I have incoming healing, but then outgoing healing is, I don't know if they show that on the stat thing here, actually, from my particular class. Sometimes they do. But again, the stat is built into your character. It might be in tactical. Yeah, so, oh, you know what? You know what it is? It's on one of the things. But again, you can look for either the exact stat, like finesse rating, right? Finesse block. You'll find the actual stats, or it'll be an ability's name, right? Again, so like battle hardened incoming, all these different things you can use, right? Outgoing healing from something, readied battle, all that kind of stuff, damage buffs. So those are the kind of things you can look at your actual things. So sometimes you want to have your, whatever tree you're making your legendary for, have all the points in so you can see all the skills down there. Again, I've got to organize my skills. I just leveled this guy up, so. Again, my friends, last little bit of stuff there. Sorry to give you a little bit more information, but I realize that's probably important for you to know as well. Don't want to, again, leave comments, leave questions if you want. I'm happy to answer them. And then subscribe button's there. Next episode's up there for guides. And over there is a LOTRO tale, where I do voiceovers in Lord of the Rings Online. We do have a lot of more entertainment content here on the channel. But again, I love this game so much, and I want to make it as easy as possible for other players to understand things. Usually they're pretty good about stuff in this game, but occasionally some things can be kind of challenging. And I really love the legendary item system in this game. I think it's cool they grow with you and stuff, but it can be a little daunting at first if you're a brand new player. So hopefully this helped you out, and I'll see you all in the next episodes of Voice of the Rings. BARUK, KHAZAD, I menu. Stay happy, my friends, and I'll see you all in the next episodes of Voice of the Rings. See ya.